Hello friends, welcome back to In the Studio episode 111. So in one of my earlier videos I talked about using polyrhythmic loops to create interesting evolving rhythms that really help maintain a track's interest. What I'm going to do here is show you how to take that concept, but I'm going to apply it in a different way. And I have an example for you here, so let's just jump right in, shall we? I have this simple little beat here. So we're going to apply this technique on that little hat groove, the da 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 da, that one there. And I'm going to turn that up actually. Okay, so I'm going to drop a delay plugin there on that track. I'm going to use just the Fruity Delay 3. I'm going to turn this down to 3, which is a 8th dotted. And I'm going to maybe pull back on the feedback slightly and then pull the cutoff down of the feedback signal down to around 10K. I think would work just fine for this. And then I'm going to automate it, the wet here. Essentially just the mix level. And then I'm going to use a odd shaped loop. So we'll try that. And pop in a little section here. I don't know, play around with the amount, but that should work. Yeah, I think that would work just fine. And then we're going to add another delay plugin, use the same one, the Fruity Delay 3. I'm going to kick this one down to a 16th delay though, and I'm going to make this wide, so I'm going to pull the stereo out here to offset that. I'm going to kick in a little bit more feedback on this one and do the same thing with the cutoff. Just pull that down to around 10K or so, and then do the same thing, automate the wet level. Pull this down. I'm going to use maybe, let's try a 3-bar loop for this. And maybe I'll mix in a slightly higher amount. Come here. So listen to that. Yeah, that could work. For the example, this is something that's definitely worth experimenting with. There's so many things that you can do here, but just using different length or odd shaped loops or regions for your automation clips, you can see that it's not hitting at the same spot in the bar. It's going to be moving around, and then it's going to be a little bit more unpredictable and a little bit more interesting to the listener over a longer period of time, because your ears become very accustomed to rhythms that don't change. So when you apply these odd shaped loops that are kind of moving and weaving in and out with each other, it can create really interesting and intricate sounding patterns that are really actually quite simple to do. So we can add on to this even further. Just for example, maybe we can add some different like tone or texture here. So maybe I can use some distortion. I'm going to use this little Devil Lock plugin from Sound Toys. Maybe add a little crunch in here. So I'll just automate that crunch. Everyone loves a little crunch. And maybe we could use a really small loop size for this, so maybe that would work there. Three beats, and maybe for this one we can just do like a little ramp up. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, try experimenting with different, or odd length loops for your automation clips when it comes to, you know, adding a little bit of movement and modulating parameters. I mean, there's many ways that you can approach this. You could take an approach like this. You can set up some LFOs. You could automate these things in by hand and record it live. You could spend some time drawing it in. But this is just another way that you can just create interesting, evolving rhythms that are a little bit less predictable and therefore more interesting to the listener. So, yeah, hopefully you found that useful in some way. And leave me a comment or question, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.